All right, welcome back, good people. This is the second episode I'm creating today for you guys. This episode I'm titling Thought Provoking Questions number 1, because actually what I did this week was research some questions that kind of make you think on the what I consider the second level of thinking. We have a default. A lot of people, I'll say most people actually, where when you kind of get an idle, when you're not doing something actually with your mind, you go to idle, which takes you to a default. That default that you go to is not the area I'm talking about. I'm talking about the area that makes you kind of have to dig a little deeper into what you're thinking to come up with an answer, right? Those are thought-provoking questions. Those are the ones who make you have to kind of be honest with who you are. Because one of the things that we have become really good at is pretending we're somebody we're not, right? But we really know who we are, right? Would you agree with that? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Yeah, you really know who you are. You really know whether or not you're capable of doing that, or whether or not you should do that in your life, right? That's why a lot of times what a lot of people don't understand is when someone doesn't have the tutelage or the discipline instilled in them at a young age, they're more likely to kind of just react or make decisions not based on ethics or morality or understanding of others, right? Because we kind of get selfish. We have an ego, right? And our ego sometimes, when we're not guided in a different way, will make us want to respond the way we want to, in an effort to get the result that we want to get, right? Even if it means hurting someone else or disrespecting someone else, or just being a jerk, kind of, in other words. And we're okay with that. A lot of people are okay with that because they hadn't been given those tools, right? Because you have to pick up certain tools along this thing we call life, along this journey we call life. And if you don't pick up those tools, then you're going to try to go through this life your way, which, it should be your way, but you have to respect people's situations, people's things, and people themselves, right? You got to respect all that, because what's the opposite of respect, right? And you don't want to be that way to anybody. You want people to respect you, and you want to respect people. But having said that, I want you to think about these questions that I'm going to pose to you, and I'm going to give you just like a 2-second or 5-second pause so that you can kind of understand what that question was. Because these are not, like I said, these are not surface questions. These questions go a little deeper. But they're kind of like open-ended questions. Open-ended questions you can't answer with a yes or no. You have to give an answer, right? These questions you can answer quickly, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to go back and rethink about what your answer was because you answered too quickly, right? Let me give you an example. The first question is, how do you want to make others feel? How do you want to make others feel? Good. Is that it? Just good? So if you think a little bit, get by yourself and think for a second, 5 minutes, about how you really want to make others feel. Your answer may be different, right? I don't care, or, it might, I would like for them to feel better about themselves once they meet me. I like that answer. But is that the way you would like for them to feel? Another question is, when do you feel the most like yourself? In other words, your DNA, your chemical makeup makes you feel a certain way. Sometimes we're kind of off balance with that. I don't really feel so happy today. I don't really feel so myself today. The question, when do you feel the most like yourself? See, these are thought-provoking questions, and those are the type of questions I like to pose to people so that when they get by themselves, they can answer that to themselves. And then when they answer those questions truthfully, going forward in life, what happens is they'll reference that answer they gave when a situation comes up where it's something similar, right? Psychological. We live in a psychological world. Would you agree? Yeah. Okay, third question. What makes you lose track of time? What are you doing when time seems to fly by? Next question. What makes you smile? Is it when someone else smiles at you? Because that has a reciprocal type of effect. When you smile at someone, they normally smile back. And if they don't smile back, there's normally a reason that they didn't smile back, right? I don't always know that reason. Sometimes they know you and they're mad at you, right? So why would you smile at them, right? But what makes you smile? Is it like for me, like when I see my grandkids, that make me smile. I'm like, wow, these kids are gonna be grown one day. And, wow. You're gonna, because one of the things that I didn't really realize at an early age was that there's a progression where everyone gets a chance to do everything. And like when you say to yourself, like, I don't know why my father did this or why my mother did that, then you get the chance to grow up and be that. And then your kids can say, I don't know why my mother did this or why my father did that. It just continues, right? So when you do something well or correctly, what you would consider correctly, chances are pretty good that your children will too. But not always. But pretty good. Next question. What is something you attained in the past that you're proud of? Karate trophy or bowling trophy, maybe a little league championship, whatever it is for a man or a woman. Maybe a little girl won a beauty pageant. You know what that is, right? And you probably won something like that and it didn't really make you feel that proud. But there have probably been a situation in your life where it had that effect. It was like, ooh, I feel good about that. I feel good about that, right? Next question. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do 10 questions per episode, so buckle up, right? 'Cause these questions are going to get more intense, more invasive, if you will, from a mental perspective. That was question number 5. This is question number 6. What kinds of conversations do you have with your closest friends? Now that I thought was a good one. Because, we're so repetitive that we almost talk about the same thing every time we see each other, right? But when you're someone like me, I bring new things to the table, right? Because I like to ask questions that make you think. So I'll bring new situations and get your perspective on it, right? And, I think that's other people like that as well. Not just that I like to do it, but I think some of my friends actually like to see me so that they know they're going to get something different, right? All right, question number 7. What job other than your own would you like to have? What job other than the one you have right now would you like to have? Oh, yes, there's probably one. Number 8, what do you enjoy about reading? Nothing. Did I hear nothing? So you have to read. You must read, because if you don't read something, then all your information is going to be kind of secondhand. You got to kind of research for yourself and get that information, because people will trick you. People will deceive you. People will send you down that path when you should be going down that path. But not always because they are doing it maliciously. A lot of times they just don't know, right? So that's why you need to learn for yourself so that you'll know. And if it doesn't work for you, then you can change up. And you can change up based on your information, not what they tell you. Because see, a lot of times what works for you won't work for them. Let me give you a quick story. I had a friend who was a pretty big guy, athletic guy, and he played football. And he went to high school. Now, he told me this himself. He went to high school, and one of the guys he played with was better than him, right? And the guy that was better than him tried out for the Dallas Cowboys, and he didn't make the team. So since he didn't make the team and he was better than him, he decided not to even try out. You don't know. You do not know. Had he tried out, he may have made it. Because see, what's for you is for you. The universe will line up, ladies and gentlemen, to bring you what's for you. It has to. But you have to put in the work. You have to become available. You have to give the God that we pray to something to bless, right? You got to do that, nobody else. And the final question on this episode is, what do people compliment you on? What do people compliment you on? There's something. May not be many things, but there's something. You really do that well, right? Or I like the way you drive. You're a good driver. Or, I like the way you play basketball. Or I like the way you talk to people. I like the way you, whatever that is for you, right? What is your friends, or what do people compliment you on? All right, now you see how these episodes are rolling, right? So at the end, keep this process in mind. I'm doing these episodes one after the other. At the end of the 5 episodes that I'm creating for the day, then I'll upload those to my system. Then I'll issue those out one each day of the week, next week, to my other system, the next level of people that will be hands-on with this information, right? And that's how it works. And then once it leaves my hands, then it's not, I'm finished. I prepare for the next week. How cool is that, right? You can set up this same system, and I can show you how. I can. Will I charge you? We'll talk.